Hello, everyone. Welcome to cmp113 Operating Systems 1. In this course, we're going to go through Windows, of course, is going to be the hugest part because Windows is the hugest part of operating systems in our world today. But we will also be going through Mac OS, and we will be going through versions of Linux. Now, Mac OS is based on Unix, as you're going to find out, and Linux is a copy of Unix. So most people know the name Linux, they're aware of it, and often they'll assume that Unix somehow is some variation of it. Well, it's true, but Unix came first and Linux just basically copied what Unix had done. And we're going to learn all about that. You got a lot of different stuff that we're going to go through. I love operating systems. There is nothing I love more than operating systems except for networking. As you know, if you've taken my networking class, I love networking. However, operating systems is a close second to that. I just love them. Lots of times I'll have different operating systems in a virtual machine on my computer just because, right? Just because I like them. Anyway, I want to show you this. Let me make sure that I'm sharing the right screen. Yep, desktop 2. We're on the right one, so you're seeing what I've got there. All right, first thing I want to cover is where do you get this textbook from, right? We don't have a textbook, although you can get a physical copy if you wish, right? Everything's moved digital, and I do understand that some people just like having a physical copy, and you can definitely get one, and it's cheap to do. However, you can't finish any of the assignments by just having a textbook. So you need what's known as Cengage Unlimited, which is right here in front of you. Cengage is a publisher, and what they have done is basically said, if you pay one price for a semester or for a year or for 2 years, you pay one price, you have access to everything that we have, every textbook that's available, which is pretty dang good. They got a ton of textbooks over a lot of different subjects. We switched to it because it saves our students so much money. If you are in a class I use Test Out in, then you know it's about $129 per class for that. And that's actually not bad. I mean, there's economics books that are $200, $300. It's getting ridiculous, right? And so as instructors, we hate that. Anytime I can not use a textbook, I do. And then, of course, I found Cengage Unlimited, or we found it, I should say. And as soon as we found it, we're like, we're going to do this because the textbooks are good. They're in different, like Cengage has really an awesome textbooks for operating systems. It really does. But, you know, in some other fields, not quite as good. However, so close that it's, you know, the student doesn't know the difference. And so this is a quality product. Basically, you got Pearson, McGraw-Hill, and Cengage. You know, those are the top big three. And so I use this Cengage Unlimited now in the following courses that you see on the screen: 103, 113, which is what you're in now, 255, which is server systems, and 201, which is systems and procedures. Sorry. And then I use them as a supplementary text. So in other words, it's not required for the course, but if you have Cengage Unlimited, right, it's extra resources that you have the ability to get to. That's cmp113, 250, and 284, which is the ethical hacker class. And so I'll use it as a supplementary text in every single class I can, because they have textbooks, and then that just gives students another resource. So the first thing that we have to accomplish, that's what this video is about, is getting Cengage Unlimited and understanding what's happening with it. It's become much easier for students to understand this because they're dealing with it across different disciplines. I'm just going to tell you now, if you walk into a business class and they're like, we use Cengage Unlimited, guess what? You have the ability to use whatever material they need for the class because you already purchased it in mind. Right? If you go into a math class and they haven't switched yet, but we're hoping they will, and they use Cengage, and then you bought it, you know, a year ago, then, right, you have to look at, oh, I got that, I can just use that. Right? Cengage Unlimited means it's unlimited. However, you have to think about how long. That's the question. Now, for me, 2 years is the key. And that's a higher price to pay, definitely. But in the long run, it saves you a ton of money. So I have a link right here. So you're going to come into this material and you're going to go to purchasing the text Cengage Unlimited right here. You came to course introduction, which is where you found this video. Right. So right below that, you're going to click that link. And what it does is actually sends you to another window. Anytime it says it's a link, it's going to send you to another window where you click that. So you click that link, and I actually have it open. See, I've clicked it twice. So that's the same page there. And you're brought here. And so this is what it shows you. Hey, buy one Cengage Unlimited plan and get access to all the course material you need. Now, first off, yeah, I wish you could just do the purple one, but we're in technology here, guys, right? We're going to be using MindTap. We're going to be using SAM. Those things are simulations and more rich environments than just a static text. So in order for you to complete this course, in order for you to complete any of the stuff, any of the courses that I use it as a required text, in order to complete any of those courses, you have to have this one. Cengage Unlimited, which includes the e-textbooks and the online homework platform. So you don't need to know which platforms, they just include them all, right? So you got to get this one, right? And so for 4 months, which basically is going to cover a semester, that's going to cost you $119. And that might be where you're at, right? You're like, I don't got no money, so I'm going to have to do 4 months, and that's $119. And you go through the process. Now, this is just like any other online process. You can't buy something on Amazon without setting up an account. So if you've never used Cengage, when you hit buy now, it's going to say, okay, well, let's buy it. Who are you? And you're going to set up a login, right? That's going to happen here on Cengage's page. Now, I'm telling students, come on, if you are going to go through our program, you've already made this commitment, and you're like, I'm going to take all these classes from James McBride and Lydia Mata. I'm going to take a bunch of those classes. Then get the 2-year plan. Yes, it's $239, but it covers, guys, I just listed my stuff, right? I just listed my classes. I'm not even sure that's complete because I'm, throwing this together the last minute here. I might have another class or two that those are required in. I'm not sure. But Lydia has at least 4 classes, right? She's got the programming classes. She's got the access class. Those are classes you have to take. And she will use the Cengage Unlimited as a required text. When we look at book costs, this one, I kept an old textbook around, right? It had loads of stuff that should have been changed in it, but I kept it around because people could get it for $40. Some people could find it for $10. Same with 255. Not the same with 201 because this is much more business related, and they gouge people more in that area. And so we would be looking at, let's just average 25 here, 25 here. So that's $50 for those 2 classes. And then on this one, another 50. That's pretty cheap. So that's 50 and 50, 100. So you don't have to buy them for these. So that's fine. $100 for my courses. Now you got to go get your programming one. Now you got to get 103, which you have to take. And so that, because we use Cengage Unlimited, is going to cost you 100 and something just for 4. So already now you're at $200 just for these courses, not to mention the programming classes and the access class, and maybe you take the Excel class, right? And so, you can easily get to $400, $500. You will get to $400, $500 just in our area alone. And that's why we're using Cengage Unlimited, pushing it on campus. There'll be more and more people using it. So you need to pay attention. You go into class and they say, we're using Cengage Unlimited. Then oh, what I have to do is go set up one account, make sure that I'm getting this one, which is everything, and I'm set to go. So I tell students, if you're just going through our stuff for 2 years, this is going to pay off for you. $239. The 1-year plan is $179. So that covers 2 semesters, basically. It covers longer than that. It covers summer too, obviously. But it's better if you can go 2 years. If you can't go 2 years, then definitely go 1 year. If you got to take it 4 months at a time, you're going to end up paying regular prices, right? But you're still saving money with classes you're taking within that semester, so that's good. Any way you look at it, it's better. It honestly is. And you would hit buy now, and then you would go through the process of creating your account. Where your access to the textbooks comes from, and this is a little, this is my screen. Sorry, you won't get that screen. A little bit of a lie. You actually have access to every textbook they have. You could actually go to Cengage, log in as a student, and get any access to any textbook that you want. If you want a print copy of that because you're already paying for Cengage Unlimited, I think they send you one free one or something like that, or it's $7. I think that's what it is. It's like, oh, we'll send it to you for free, but you'll have to pay shipping. I think that's what it comes down to. So you want a printed book. This does not restrict you from getting it. You're not going to have to go out and buy it again. You just go to their website and say, I want a printed copy of this book. And they're like, oh, you're on Cengage Unlimited, pay for the shipping, basically. They have great chat service. Most everybody does these days. But, once you log in, see, I've got my library here that I've got different books in. This is where you would go, and you could actually just get a print copy of any book you have there. But you could also, let me just accept that and get off the screen, chat with a person and say, hey, can you help me out here? I want to know how to do this, and they'll help you out. They're really good about that. They're a good company for that. So you go over here, you create your login, you make your purchase, then you come back to here. As soon as you click on any link, see, getting started in MindTap, these are not assignments, these are helpful things, right? These are things to help you. They're not required for you to go through. They're just helpful. You click on any of those and it's going to say, okay, log in. Now, if you actually already logged in over here, it will pick that up, right? Same browser, it'll pick that up. But you log in, and then from that time forward, your Canvas login is connected to your Cengage login for that course. And then whenever you click any of these, for instance, I have read, review, and test in this class. Read, review, and test. And then we'll get to the other stuff in just a minute. So let's say you're going to say, okay, well, let me take a look at the actual reading for module 1. I want to get into the textbook. I want to see this information. You click the link. Again, it asks you to log in once. So if you didn't do it, it'd have you log in right there. If you did do it, then the following just shows up. The only time the following doesn't show up is if you have a really bad internet connection. And then if you have a bad internet connection, it'll error out. It's web-based, right? It's not them, it's your bad internet connection, and that stinks. But hey, these are technology classes. Now, they have a bunch of tools, and we're not going through those tools because you don't need to use them unless you want to use them. So we're not. There's like the full book. You can look at the full book right there. It'll open up a side thing, and there's the full book. You can make notes. You can highlight. You can do all sorts of fancy stuff. But what you clicked on was read, right? So we can just go through it, and you can highlight right here. You can make the text larger. You can have it speak to you. You can print it, whatever, right? I want the text larger. So it's larger. That's the textbook. If you buy the textbook, guess what it's going to look like? This, right? That's what it's going to look like. And again, you can highlight it for your own good, and you can go back and look at your highlights. Now, we're not really using this interface other than calling up assignments. So you will find your assignment here in Canvas, the assignment you're going to do, click on it. It will take you to the MindTap material, and then you can just close this out. When you're done with this, you can just close this. If you click this X, it's going to take you to this interface. I don't want you here, okay? I'm setting all the dates. I'm doing all the management in Canvas. I don't want people getting in here going, do I need to do this? And I didn't see a date on that. And I'll say, are you in Canvas? Because you need to be in Canvas, not Cengage MindTap. Every single thing that you see over here in Canvas will take you to where you need to be. So you can close down that tab once you're done and come back. That's getting the material. That is, looking at the textbook. Now let's move on. OS fundamentals, right? That's just, we're getting started with it, right? So there's a quiz. That's what you got. You got a quiz at the bottom. Sweet, right? This is not networking. This is not cmp113. This is not ethical hacker. It's going to be lighter, but you're going to have to read. I don't know how many students just try to avoid reading. And I'm like, you're going to have to read in your life. You go into this business, especially, you're going to be rereading a lot of web pages, right? You get updates on everything, right? You're going to learn all this information in my classes, and then you're going to go out, you're going to have to build and change that, right? Little pieces at a time. That requires reading. So read. Right? I did super well in all my tech classes because I read the information, not because I just sat down and tried to do it. All right, so the second module is modern client server systems. And then notice this one has activities. So this one had read, review, test. This one has read, activities, review, test. Right, so here you actually have some hands-on projects. So let me show you what one of those looks like. Let's take a look. Wow, just jump right into the Windows 10 registry. Let's really mess some stuff up. Anyway, this is going to take me straight over to that particular content. Again, it's all part of that textbook, so I could thumb through the pages, so to speak, and get there. I could get there, but it's going to take me there. So here's my hands-on project. It says, hey, it's going to take you 10 minutes. Here's my description. And then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, where I would be answering something, right? You see an interface like File Explorer that shows you 5 folders called keys. Each key contains information about different aspects of the system, such as hardware settings, user environment settings, application settings, and Windows system settings. Then there's the next step. Let's take a look at what the assignment is, right? So that's a hands-on. That means you're supposed to be doing it, right? This means that you are doing this on your computer. I'm gonna have another video on setting up a VM, virtual machine, so that you can do all this. It is really good to have that set up on your computer. We have computers at EAC, all this is set up. We have Macs down here. There's no problem. You don't have to do any setup. Just come to class, and you'll do this in class. Basically, I'll talk to you about the chapter, especially make sure the review questions are covered, and then you'll sit down and you'll be able to do exactly what you see on your screen now, right as part of class. And if you're a good student, you can get almost everything done in your class time that week, right? I have students that just won't show up, weeks to weeks, and then they're behind. I do not have due dates yet, but as we start going through it, I'm going to set due dates. So right now, everything's just open. I do not close things down from stopping people to go into it. In other words, all of it will be open for you to go into, but I will have close dates. It's going to close and you're not going to be able to do it again. I'll set that stuff. But I'd like us to get going first, see the aptitudes of the class and so on. Anyway, back to the subject here. Here's your turn-in. So here you have the hands-on project 2.2. This is the 2.2 turn-in. So when we click on that, really all you're going to get, let's look at the student view here. Having taken screenshots of your work, numbering each step, what's he talking about numbering? Numbering each of your steps, right? It's right there for you. Upload your hands-on assignment as a PDF for grading. So what's going to happen is you are going to take screenshots, and I'm going to have another video. So in case you've never taken a screenshot, you'll have a reference to how to do that on Windows, how to do that on Mac and so on. But you would basically do this and take a screenshot. Do this, take a screenshot. Do this, take a screenshot. Right now, sometimes there's really nothing you can do on that particular step. And when that happens, I want you to, put number one, nothing to be done, right? So see right here on this, our second step here, sign in to your Windows 10 computer, or our first step, I should say. It's 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, right? And then 5, right? So the line coming across this is the 5th step, that kind of thing. So sign into your Windows 10 computer using an administrator account if necessary. Well, lots of people's home computers just log right in, and that's right there is going to go, oh, so how do I sign in? Because mine just logs in. There's no screenshot. So what you're going to do is just say no screenshot, because on the next one, you're going to click and type here to do a search and type regedit in your search, right? So you're going to go, I'm not on Windows 10, so I can't show you, but you're basically going to do a search in Windows 10 and type regedit, and it's going to come up and you're going to hit enter, and that'll launch it. So you would then either take a picture of the fact that you're down there with the search open, which I'll show you how to do, or the fact that regedit is up on your screen. There it is. Right. So when you're reading these assignments, it's going to take some intelligence to figure out, well, I don't have something for that, and put some kind of writing in that little spot, that basically says mine logs in automatically, no screenshot. I have students that really worry about their grade. Oh, that might be wrong. Get out of that mindset. Think, right? Think for yourself and go, hey, that's not happening for me, but I can do the next step, so I must be okay, right? And this is not happening for me, but I can do the next step, so I must be okay, right? The only time that you should be worried is when you're like, well, I can't take a screenshot of that, but I can't do the next step, and I can't do that. Okay, something's wrong. Right, we should have some screenshots of what's happening, because these are hands-on labs. You're doing the labs. So yeah, if you wanted, you could print this off and write answers on it. But basically, what you're going to do is pull up Word, pull up Google Docs if you want Google to know everything you're doing. Pull up Word online, which you have access to as a student. You can get to Office 365, and basically, start writing it out. And I will just show you on the screen real quick. I'm just going to pull up Word. I could use Pages on my Mac. That's built in. It works just fine. You just want simple word processing, so you're not really looking for something big. And this computer is a little old, so it's taking a little while to get Word going. It's one of those old Intel processors, so it's taking forever. Okay. Here's Word. I just say blank document. I actually use Pages on this computer mostly. And then then I say, oh, number 1. My cap lock's still on from something else I did. Number 2, right? And this is where your screenshot would go. And I'm going to end it there because I'm going to do the screenshot in a different video. So you would set this up, and then if you've never saved as a PDF, right, you go to File, Save As, and you can either print as a PDF if you know how to do that. It's no different, but you can go to Save and go to PDF. I want them as PDFs. The file is smaller. It's much quicker to load. I don't want you uploading doc files. I actually have that restricted so that only PDFs are accepted, as a matter of fact. Okay, so let me quit Word here and jump back over. So that's how you would turn in assignments. So when you're looking at, well, what am I doing in this class? Where's my grade going to come from? Then you are going to be taking these tests, and you get 1 shot. You're not getting 2 shots, 3 shots, or whatever. So use the PowerPoints, use the flashcards, use the reading to take that, because I will show you here how that's going to really affect your grade. And then you've got the activities where you're doing hands-on projects, right? That's really where things are coming from in this class. It's very, very hands-on stuff. So if I jump down to assignments here, notice tests are 45% of your grade, hands-on are 55% of your grade. So lots of people will get into Canvas and they'll look and they'll go, oh, that test is only 20 points. The thing he's having me turn in is 100. So it's definitely worth more. Well, it honestly doesn't matter what I set that to. I could set the hands-on to 1,000 points a piece because I'm telling it here that, hey, the tests they do are 45% of their grade, so figure that out for me. And it does it, right? So you need to know that. That's why this is there. It's actually at the side of your screen. You can see that all the time. Hey, tests are 45% of your grade. So you got to study. You've got to read the book. You've got to use the materials that are there, like the flashcards, which are really great. PowerPoints, which combine things down for you. And yes, I will post the lectures I do. And so once I'm done with the class that week, I will post what we've gone through. Because some modules are longer than others. And we will spend a couple of weeks on a module instead of just 1 week on modules. As a matter of fact, virtualization, I'm going to show you how to deal with that now. So I may be moving that much more towards the top. If you have questions, let me know. Again, the next video is going to talk about taking a little screenshot. And then the next one will talk about how to set up a VirtualBox on your computer so that if you have a Mac, you can run Windows 10 in it. You'll have that running in there, and you'll be able to also get Linux and put that on. Or if you're running Linux, you can get Windows 10 and put that in it, right? So we can really try to accomplish things. The only thing that really will run into trouble are assignments on Macs. And if you can't make it in and don't have access to a Mac, then that's going to cause you some issues. But we'll deal with that later.